how is there a respectful way for a man to approach a woman that he wants to talk to? Is there even a respectful way to do that anymore or no?
Yeah, well, I mean, there's always gonna be a respectful way, but like a lot of people have come down to like that. You see a girl walking down the street and they're like, "Damn, ma, what's your name?" Like, no, don't do that.
What is like the thing that like attracts a woman to a man the most? Like, is it money?
I mean, not necessarily. Like, yes, you got you. No one wants a broke man,
Right.
but you can build a broke man. But who wants to do that, really? Um, it really, I feel like it comes down to the person. There's a lot of people that are just attracted to looks. There's a lot of people that are attracted to mindsets, and don't care anything about looks. It kind of just depends on the person. Personally, I'm attracted to mindsets. You need to have goals. You need to have ambitions. I don't want to bum. Like, I want you to have not your whole life figured out, but like have a plan. Like, I want to buy a house. I want to do this. I want to do that. Not like I'm gonna work at Burger King for the rest of my life and
Right.
just make it. But I think it kind of depends on like the woman.
Interesting. Um, so in this like day and age of ultra sensitivity and just things being misinterpreted, um, how is there a respectful way for a man to approach a woman that he wants to talk to? Is there even a respectful way to do that anymore or no?
Yeah, well, I mean, there's always gonna be a respectful way, but like a lot of people have come down to like that. You see a girl walking down the street and they're like, "Damn, ma, what's your name?" Like, no, don't do that. Do not do that. um, and it also depends on the situation too. I mean, like if you see a girl at the club, you could be like, "I saw you dancing. Like, I want to know if I get to know you a little better. Like, can I have your number? Can I dance with you? Can I do something?" Compared to like, you try to come to my place tonight? Like, or can I take you out to dinner? Can something decent that's not so sexualized?
Is it still like that nowadays though? That's the question really, cuz I feel like everything's over sexualized nowadays.
Very. Everything is very over sexualized. It can still be like that, but it's starting to fade away a lot. Everyone wants to deal with that, like, oh, she got a fat ass, I'm gonna mess with her. Oh, she look good. It's nothing's really like in it for like the mindset per se, or like any type of goals. It's just like, oh, I want to hit her tonight. Like that's what I want to do. I feel like no one's like really like looking for relationships anymore. They're just looking for like the next nut. Like,
So you think it's fair to go ahead, bro?
Yeah, I had a question for Miss Bianca. Now, how do you know, like, what I'm trying to say? Uh, how can you tell if a female's a thought or not? You know, because most men want a female, but they don't know if she's for the streets or she's a wife. So what can you tell our viewers for men out there that's looking for a wife or something?
so that one's kind of hard because, of course, you can't judge a book by its cover. But I mean, if you got a girl and she's just throwing herself at you and she wants you to take her out to Benihana's and she's just in it for whatever she can get, that's not the wife for you. But there are guys that like things like that and will still wife a girl like that. So I mean, I feel like your definition of wife really comes down to what you want. And go ahead, you guys want to say?
Yeah, I was just gonna like a follow up question to that because I was gonna ask. You kind of started answering it, but it's like, what if like, is it bad to want a girl who most people would say is like a thought? Is that a bad thing to like be like, oh, that's what I want? Because I know people that's what they want, you know. So is that a bad thing to want? Is like a girl like that like someone you should stay away from, or is it like, well, hey, I kind of like me a girl who's a little bit loose, you know?
I totally thought you were gonna go a different direction with that. I'm trying to go a whole different direction with
You-
that. But go ahead.
bro,
Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I don't think that's a bad thing. I mean, I feel like everyone's entitled to have what they want. So if that's what you like, that's what you like. I mean, if you want someone who's overly sexualized, then you want them to I guess, slut you out per se, then I mean that's what you like. If that's what you're comfortable with, then wife her up. Like, but I mean, there's people out here who are into like polygamy or like threesomes, and like that's what you like. Like, if you're comfortable with that, go for it. I mean, who am I to say like, oh no, you shouldn't be wifing her? Like, that's has nothing to do with me. If it makes you happy, it makes you happy.
Do you think though that like, and I know all people do it, but do you think that women might do it a little bit more, where it's like, because I feel like men don't have as big of shoes to fill in that sense. I feel like sometimes, and obviously like I can't speak for women, but like sometimes like there could be a more engaged, successful woman with a man that's a bum or like just doesn't have a lot going on. So obviously like the bar is not that high for men, you know what I mean? Like they just have to be suitable, you know, in a sense. Do you think that it's like a persona is put on for women for an extensive time, to just kind of like see what's going on? Because I feel like in a lot of like relationships that I've seen, like everything's cool till it's not, you know what I mean? And it's like it takes a couple months for it's like for somebody to like truly act how they're acting. So it's like now everything's kind of a persona. Everybody you meet is fake off the bat. Like, do you believe something like that?
Well, I feel like that's always the case because, I mean, there's always like that cupcake phase that everyone always talks about. When you first meet someone, you want to do your best. You're not going to show your true colors. You want to be, all the guys want to, oh, I'm going to get her flowers. I'm going to take her out. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. After a couple months, that wears off. I mean, then you start being your true self. We're not going to go out
But why
every
does that
night.
wear off, though, is the question. Like, what's the sense? Because, like, these people could stay together for a long time. Why does that wear off?
Because I feel like at a point, it's like, I know you well enough. I know that we're going to be together. You don't need to impress me anymore. I mean, like, yeah, it's still nice to get flowers here and there. We're still going to go out here and there. But you don't need to do that every day. You don't need to put on this act. You don't need to look your best every day. I don't need to wake up and run to the bathroom and put makeup on to impress you. Like, if you want to be with me, I'm going to be me. Like, you don't need to put on that fake act anymore. Now it's to the point where if you don't like the real me, this is the time to break it off.
Is it true to say, though, that in every relationship, doesn't matter if it's a friendship, doesn't matter if it's a partnership or an actual sexual relationship, that if you get too comfortable with your partner, that's when things start to slip?
It definitely is, because once you get too comfortable, things start changing. You expect your partner to pick up more slack or the slack that I don't know how to say that. You expect your partner to do more. You expect, like, okay, well, I'm comfortable now. You're not leaving me, so I'm just going to do what I want. I'm going to be lazy, and you can do what you do. Like, it gets to a point where it gets real messy.
So you think the comfortability, like, ends the relationship in most cases?
Not necessarily,
because I know if I got too comfortable with a friend, like, let's say, like, I got too comfortable with him in the sense of, like, now when we're fucking around, he's using like a bitch word or something like that. You know what I mean? Like that to me is too comfortable. Like now you know me too well that you think it's okay to do something like that. Our friendship is not how it used to be now. You know what I mean? Doesn't mean I'm going to go there and beat your ass, because clearly it wasn't in the sense of you want to fight me. You were just fucking around. But in that sense, it's like, okay, now it's there. Same thing in a relationship. You know what I mean? It's like somebody's doing something in the beginning, and then a month or two later in, it's like this is a completely different person that's not doing any of the same things. You know what I mean? And it could be from not doing little things to just not cleaning up after themselves like they used to, or any of those things. And you think that those little wares are like the straw that breaks the camel's back? Like, okay, my comfortability is what ended this relationship. You know what I mean? Because somebody has to screw up.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like there can be levels to it too. Like there's a difference, like you said, like with friends. So like
well, obviously, yeah, that's different. You're not having sex with your friends.
Well, yeah, but I mean, like when I'm with like your girlfriend, like I can dance on your girlfriend, and it's not a problem. We're comfortable. I'm not gonna like be like, catch me outside after this. Like we're fine. Like we're friends.
Right, but you also don't live together.
Yeah, no.
So that wouldn't end the friendship.
Yeah, but like when it comes to like being with a man, so then it's like there's different levels of comfortable. So like if you're comfortable enough to where like we can talk about anything, that's a great thing. But if you're too comfortable to where you're like, okay, I know you got a good job, you can support me, I don't need to work anymore, like I'm just gonna like sit at home for a while, like that becomes an issue. I feel like it's not so much being comfortable, it's more starting to be lazy and being a bum. That's when it becomes an issue. It's not the comfortable part, because I can be comfortable enough to where I could sell around anything. And that's a good thing. That's how it should be in a relationship. But if he were to be like, you know what, like we're just, I don't know, I don't feel like working anymore, that's not comfortable. Now you're just being lazy.
I have a question. What's up with what females like in bad guys? Is that the right term? Bad,
yeah, like people that just
that don't care.
Like, yeah, they treat them like shit.
Treat them like stuff, but then they have a friend. It's always a female that has a friend that's the good guy. He been wanting to be in a relationship with her, but she looks over him. She looks over him and goes with the guy that cheats on her and not shit. What's up with that?
I mean, there's like,
I think that has to do with men and females, though.
Yeah.
I think that's like an inner, like a, you know what I mean? Like that's a deeper thing. Like it's not a warning sign to be treated like shit. They're used to it. You know
there's
what I
a
mean?
lot that can go back to. I mean, that can go back to past trauma, like daddy issues, mommy issues, that kind of thing. It could also go back to, like we were just talking about, the cupcake phase. When you first start, everything's really good. You fell in love with this persona of this person, and now things are changing. You're in love with that person, but not who they are anymore. You're in love with that person you first met, and you feel like you can change that person. You want that old thing back. It's like,
what's with that rehab shit? Why do all girls think they can change guys? We are like who we are, and no matter how long you take to change us, we're still gonna be who we are. There might be little things that you tweaked, but that's about it.
But for the right woman, a man will change. And I mean, not even
But
change
what's the
like,
definition
I don't
of
believe
change?
that.
Like not
I don't
meeting
believe that.
expectations, or
no, just bettering yourself for you guys together.
And I don't believe that for the right woman, a man will change. I think a man will change when he becomes mature enough to understand that I need to, the way I'm going about my life is not okay. Because, like, I feel like men, the right woman comes always too early. It feels like for men, it's like you get that right woman like way too early when you're still in your like whatever phase, and then like it takes it really, I feel like, takes that relationship for a man to understand like, hey, okay, I gotta move a little different.
But I feel like that right woman will be the one to make you realize that you want to change and do better.
And also, I'm speaking from experience right now. So when I met her, I was kind of like, in the streets. You know what I'm saying? I still had hoes. You know what I'm saying? I still was cheating, and it took her to tell me, you know what? You're not getting your stuff together. I'm gonna leave. You know what I'm saying? So I had to. She kind of changed me into a better person. You feel what I'm saying? So far as in like you were saying, like you don't believe that a woman can change a man. You know what I'm saying? I think they can, though, because I was a big cheater. You know what I'm saying? A big cheater.
But is it like is it the woman changing the man's perspective on how things should be, or is it the sense of you are like now doing it for yourself and for the relationship? Because like no matter what, like you come first, and
Right.
it's as selfish as that shit sounds, it's
Right.
not, because it's like if you can't take care of yourself, then you can't be a part of a relationship.
Right.
Because there always has to be that 150%. You know what I mean? Like if your partner's not giving an extra 50%, then you have to make up for that shit.
Right,
you know what I
right.
mean? So it's like at that point, like are you being changed by a woman, or are you just changing yourself within?
Yeah, because like I only say that because, speaking from personal experience, I had a shorty who was giving me like the world, like it was perfect almost, you know what I mean? But like I was not in a place in my head where I could be faithful to that, where I could be mature enough to like stay in that relationship and like let it grow. You know what I mean? Because as great as this girl was, I was like, yo, I gotta do my shit. Like I wanted to do my shit. Like I wanted to be out there. So like I feel like I me being away from her actually was the point where I was like, well, maybe I need to like change my approach about like my life and be more mature in certain areas. So like I don't know, that's the only reason why I say that. It's just like I don't think that a relationship is like, yes, like it can be like a reason that you're like, well, I do need to change, but at the same time I feel like that's still you, you know, that's still like you being like, wow, my actions and myself, I have to change to like get to a better place, you know what I mean?
But I mean, she could have been the perfect girl, but maybe she wasn't the perfect girl for you. She wasn't the one that sparked that in you that was like, you know what, I need to get it together. That just because she was an amazing girl doesn't mean y'all were meant for each other. You need to find that one that's really for you to make you want to do better.
I feel you.
I'm glad you said that because she probably watches all these podcasts.
Oh, she watches every single one, I know for sure.
Well, shout out to her.
Shout out to Shorty, I guess. Yeah. Nah, but I mean, I feel that. I definitely can be. That definitely is definitely a reason for that and shit.
So I mean, like back to what Blake said, we're not changing the man. We're not forcing you to do something, but I feel like we're putting the spark in you to make you want to do better for yourself, and then of course eventually for the relationship if that's what you want. You can't go into something, I mean, it's just like in school. You can't go into school thinking you're not going to show up to class, not do no homework, and expect to pass the class. You got to put effort in. You got to put work in.